Hello, welcome to March 9th, 2023. Today's a Thursday. My name is Kurt Bell, and this is my daily Good Life meditation video. This is something that I do each and every morning, just a little bit after waking up. It's now 4:18 a.m. No, sorry, 23 a.m. Pretty much spot on time right now. I do this in order to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone, in a chapter titled The Good Life. I call it The Good Life in homage to the Stoics and the principles that they recommended and developed to live their better days. Although I don't recall any particular Stoic actually enumerating the principles out. It was more communicated by way of discourse, as in Marcus Aurelius's meditations. I chose to number them, categorize them, and I use this time in the morning to think about them, to at least say each one aloud, at best, to examine it, to talk about it a little bit, and at very best, to improve it. If improvement may even mean destruction. Although I don't think I've actually destroyed any principle yet. I have relegated a principle to become a sub-principle of something else when I recognize a connection that I didn't see when I first created it. I also use this time to think about the last 24 hours and about the challenges and opportunities that I encountered during that time and how I did and how I used my principles to do better with that challenge or to improve upon that opportunity, and where the objectives played a part as well. Because usually the challenges and opportunities, the yield is in reference or in the direction of the objectives that I have. Finally, and this is the third part of this exercise, the Good Life meditation, that is, finally I think about the coming day. And I try to forecast what opportunities and challenges I might encounter along the way. Let's go. Now, before I jump in, just to let you know, I'm still not myself. I had COVID-19 a couple of weeks back, and though I'm recovered from that ostensibly, no longer showing positive in my tests. I haven't recovered cognitively. Still out of it in kind of a haze, and generally not feeling myself. I feel 80% at best, sometimes 60%, and mentally not quite there, which in a way is kind of fun, trying to spin it in a positive sense. I kind of enjoy being slowed down a little bit. It feels like everything is impaired, muffled, and slowed. So I typically give myself, in light of that, I typically give myself a break and just do the lightning round. And I still, at this very moment, haven't quite decided what I'm going to do. I think I'll try my best. Let's do that. All right, is there anything else? Oh yeah, the last 24 hours. Yesterday was a really hard day at work. Operating at a reduced capacity, my brain wasn't up to my job. I still think I did a good job. I don't think anybody that I work with would necessarily complain, but I don't like my performance. I'm not satisfied with the quality of my work, and that disappoints me, frustrates me. like in my reading as well. I'm trying to get through this book. It's a very good book. I'm reading the story Neil's Lime by Jens Peter Jacobsen. It's really good. But I just can't move forward. The story is so good that I find myself dwelling on each paragraph too long, that I'll struggle to get through a single page. That's how it is at work too. That's how it is with everything right now. And like I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I actually find myself going deep in the book, as you'll see. So, I mean, here's the 2 pages I was reading yesterday, quite marked up. Find lots of really beautiful bits of writing. And when I typically highlight something in yellow, that means I'm dwelling and thinking about it and digesting it and going back over it again. So that's a good way to live. It's just, I can't work like that, because I have to push forward fast and hard and deep, and I have to complete things, stay on top of things, lead team meetings, make sure that everybody as a group, that we're moving forward. Can't be a dawdler at that. So yeah, yesterday was frustrating, damn frustrating at work. I was upset at myself. And it impacted my overall mood for the whole day. Another challenge for yesterday was I had to, after work, I had to drop off a device. The doctors wanted to test me do a sleep test. So I dropped that device off. I had to drive to Anaheim, about 25 minutes from here. They have an after-hours droppy thingy. And I was really tired going over, but I fell asleep again. Coming back, I have this trouble. I fall asleep driving now. And I was driving on the freeway and 3 lanes in. And my mind said, Kurt, you've got about 30 to 60 seconds to get to the side of the road because you're going to sleep. And I know my mind isn't kidding anymore. And I started to go down, and I got off the freeway, just barely made it to a little residential area and parked the car and knocked out. Slept for about 4 minutes. Got back up and was able to get home. I pulled into a Starbucks and got a grande extra hot mocha, which I downed for a shot of caffeine. That was tough. I was talking to 2 friends in chat yesterday, Joe and Heidi. Hey Joe, hey Heidi. And Heidi and I got on the topic of dealing with death. And she commented that she thought that I was ready to die. And which was an interesting thought, because I think about it every day. And I mentioned that, yeah, I like to think in theory that I'm ready, but we'll see what happens when the time comes. This bodily, these challenges that I'm having right now, with the brain addled as it is, and the knee having gone out, and the sleep coming upon me, and the general being at 60 to 80% anymore, is though none of those things are fatal or even threatening of it, they represent the downward path, right? You know what? That's interesting. I'm glad we had this little talk here. It's not so much the end that I fear or I'm frustrated about. It's my current performance. I'm frustrated at work because I'm not doing the job, the quality job that I want to do. I'm frustrated in my personal time because I can't enjoy my book the way I want to. Well, although I probably am enjoying it more. The problem is I just got this, okay, I just have to align myself. Okay, here's an opportunity. The problem is I've got this giant stack of books over there that I want to get to. There are all these books that I want to read in the remaining years, and I want to get to them. And I'm spending a day at a time at a page on this book. That's 380 pages, whatever. It's going to take me, I'm going to have to spend a year on this book at this rate. I'm frustrated at that, but I shouldn't be. That's fine. It would be fine if I spent if this was the last book I ever read, it's that good. So stop that, Kurt. Stop being frustrated about that. I know that my cognitive quality in terms of the end result isn't decreased really. In fact, in some ways it's improved because of the time I'm spending. It's just the speed. I'm not working as fast mentally as I used to be able to, but I think I'm still working as well. In some cases, maybe even better. My writing seems to be a little better than usual. That's something to consider. And then I'm also frustrated by the fact that I can't drive. And yesterday was on my mind. I want to drive with my wife. I want to drive my wife out to visit my brother and his family next week. And I am that kind of guy that likes to drive. I don't like having my wife drive me around. Call me old-fashioned, I don't know. And I don't like the idea of that I probably can't drive that long drive that way without sitting in the passenger seat. That frustrates me, pisses me off that I'm becoming that. So, this little discovery here, huh? So it's not so much the end that I'm afraid of. I really think I'm okay to die, if it comes to that. When it comes to that, it will come to that soon, very soon. It's not so much that. It's wow, this is a big eye opener. It's what I'll lose along the way. Like the older guy, and he's not that much older than me. He's probably 68. He lives right over here, and he walks by my window 3 or 4 times a day, dragging his leg. And he's pretty much housebound. We say hi, we wave through the thing, and I talk to him when I can, when I'm outside. I meet him outside. He's alone and lonely, and doesn't have anybody else. And his apartment is situated in such a place that he doesn't have a view on life. He has a stone wall to look at. And the few times that we talk, I know that he's alone and lonely. And his leg doesn't work, and he's got other ailments, and he's alone. And the world is kind of like in my book, Going Alone, there's the very last bit. The very, very, very last bit. Here, before the appendix and recommended reading, is this bit here called Ghost Town. And this was given to me by a reader of the book. So a professor who read Going Alone and then wrote this for me and gave it to me. And I added it to the book because he's like this gentleman here, alone, old, becoming frail, and thoughtful of his life and circumstance. And he wrote Ghost Town to share with me his perspective, and it's in the book. I read it last Saturday when I was at the beach. You can look at my last live book reading on the YouTube channel, and you can see it there. You can hear me read it, and it says it all. Interesting thoughts this morning. This is why I do this. I'll have to corral them in a little bit later. There are little wild horses racing all about. There's a pony sprinting over there about bodily function stopping, not working anymore. Here's another one over here about not being pleased with the quality of my work. Oh, look at this one galloping around over there, all about my knee and my sleep in the car. And if you think that these thoughts are bummers to me, they're not. They're reality. And like when a good storm comes, which doesn't happen often here in LA, but in Japan, when a typhoon would arrive, my response typically, as the typhoon approached, would be to go outside and stand in front of the house and watch the storm approach, to examine it, because I was curious, in awe, intrigued, frightened. And that's how this is. These thoughts and just these words are me standing outside the front door of life, of my own life, looking at the storm that approaches, the storm of old age, knowing that it won't leave me the same or leave me at all. And I enjoy that. There's a thrill and a fun in it, even though I know that I'm looking at my own approaching doom. Okay, with that, let's get into it. I'm going to give myself the lightning round indeed. My 7 objectives are to be always ready to die, to make good and effective use of time, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to perform good actions, to recognize my true limits and true opportunities, and to do just one thing at a time, and do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully. All right, let's do the good life principles. There are 34 of them. I will try to give myself a little notch and jot as I say each one. Let's see if I can get 34. I did 33 yesterday. I missed something. Here we go. War, reason, homunculus, anchor hold, home of good and evil. That's 5. Purpose, atomic principle, the principle of nature, the pirate ride. Maturity, that's 10. The social principle, the principle of family. Oh, I bet that's the one I missed yesterday. Public speaking. I feel like I'm about to miss one. Temperance. Life will not go well. That's 15. The horror show. That which must be born. The feast of offal. Distraction. Agency and the great indifference. 20. The best seat in the house. The restless man. the path of wildness, the great life adventure, the risk of avoiding risk, 25, sin and damnation, complete oblivion, the season of philosophy, script writing, the bullseye aim, 30, the uphill climb, arena and utility, nothing is enough, and the principle of fun. That's 34. I got them all. And I think I got them all in order. So my brain still works. It's just slow. But in some ways, it's better than before. I like this slow way. Just that at work, I'm on a tight deadline. It always comes down to that. If I didn't have to go to work, I don't think I would be quite so upset with myself. I'd be fine with this slow meditation. I'd be fine with my slow reading. I'd be fine not being able to run at the beach, to walk into the sea, to walk upon the sand, to move and do more slowly and think in a more deliberate fashion. All of these things are good things, in fact. And I still have a couple of years to go for work, so it's futile for me to just sit here and wish it away. It's not going to happen. I have a plan. I'm going to fulfill that plan. And I know that even though I'm not quite the man I was at work, I'm still doing a good job. I think my employer is still getting good value for my effort. So there's that. Okay, let's plan for the day. Finish this. I'll upload this. I'll type out my words. I'll read. I finished Hosea yesterday. It's funny, it's a whole chapter of the Bible that I'm still not completely sure about if it's Hosea or Amos. I think it's Hosea, and I'm going to start today. I can't even read it. Hodiah, I think it is. And I'll read that, and then I'll study that. I think about it. I don't just read it, I think about it. And then I'll feed the dogs, let them out, feed myself, get started for my day. Thank goodness it's a Thursday, so tomorrow I have off, 3 days off. I need it. And with that, I'll sign off. I'll wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. And now, my life is done, if not finished. Take care.